Hello, everyone. Welcome. Thanks for joining. I'm going to give everyone a couple more minutes before we get started here just to make sure that everyone will get a chance to hear everything. But just stick around for another minute and we'll get started shortly. Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining. I'm just going to give people one more minute here before we get started. Okay. Without further ado, again, thank you everyone for hopping on today. I basically wanted to take this opportunity with all of you to, first of all, introduce myself, StayFi, and kind of give you a better idea of who we are, what we do, why we care about hosts, and also to kind of have a better idea of who's been popping into your guys' Facebook group and making these posts, commenting on direct bookings and everything like that. And to really exemplify, a lot of the learnings that we've come up with and, have really received from hosts and our customers over the past couple of years, and share kind of those learnings with you through this webinar. So uh, I'm Troy Ibarra. I'm the head of marketing for StayFi. This is essentially going to be our direct booking masterclass, and what I'm going to do is really put it through the lens of how we've seen our customers grow, showing you, kind of the results that people have seen from implementing tools like this. Actually investing time and resources into increasing the direct bookings because I know it really is a question for a lot of hosts, especially if you're just starting, depending on your size, whether or not, it really is worth it, how difficult it is to kind of get there and start accruing those direct bookings and, your kind of guest list and all of those things. So I just wanted to show essentially how we recommend doing that and what that path would look like, both with StayFi or otherwise. So um, just to start off, to kind of highlight the importance of direct bookings in the current market, the major issue that we see is just that there's such a vast power imbalance between vacation rental operators independently and the OTAs. They really do make it so that it's, your visibility is up to them in terms of whether or not they want to be showing you and giving you the kind of exposure that maybe you deserve versus other placements. There is pricing control. You can't remarket to your own guests, which is, I think, the biggest tragedy that we see is that you're having these people come in, stay with you. You've put all of the effort into making sure that they have a wonderful stay, and you can only really be rated or reviewed on the OTA itself. And most of the time you don't even get the booker's information, but much less anyone else who stayed with you, which is really difficult or, frustrating if you have maybe 8 people staying over at one property and at most you can reach one of them. Um, so, overall, the fees lead to you having reduced profit margins, as it says up there. And also, you just don't get a chance to really build your brand, which isn't fair because a lot of you guys, I'm sure, you know, have put so much into either, building your websites or, making the space really special. Like, those are all things that hotels and other places can, build essentially so that people remember who they are. At the end of the day, you don't want someone staying with you and saying, "Oh, I went to a really great Airbnb." You want them to know who you are and you want them to be able to talk about you and have a chance to come back because I'm sure, as you guys know, either before you had a rental or even now today, it's very hard to find the Airbnb that you stayed at and go back there, no matter how wonderful of an experience you had. So, um, in addition to that, why are direct bookings a good idea? Something you should invest your time in. It will increase your revenue and your occupancy rate. At the end of the day, we're not suggesting that you should ever, or at least at this point, go off of the OTAs. This is just something to, help build your occupancy over time, get some more loyal customers while you have that backbone. Essentially, you're just taking, what you would already be getting from that OTA and then increasing the number of bookings from there. And there's a whole lot of other things that you can do when you kind of take it into your own hands in ways of upselling, increasing reviews, and things like that. So it gives you a lot more control. Um, you know, uh, you have the opportunity to sell other things like insurance or amenities like a private chef, something like that. There's just a lot more that you can do, and that strategy will both help build your brand, give the guest a better experience overall, and give you a good opportunity to have a loyal guest that might come back many, many more times. So, the first thing, oh, sorry, the agenda. So yeah, in terms of your road to achieving OTA dependence, first I'm going to tell you a little bit about StayFi, go over kind of our pillars for direct booking success, mainly collecting guest data, so actually getting a pool of people that have stayed with you or are interested in staying with you and leveraging that list. um, you know, Making sure that you have continuous awareness with that cohort. So turning them into a brand guest versus an OTA guest. And then I'm going to show you a really in-depth case study on some customers of ours that have just done a really spectacular job of building from the ground up and achieving a really, really, really spectacular direct booking rate. Also, we'll be talking about measurement, and then at the end, I'm going to take questions from all of you. I don't have any assistants today, so I can't actually view questions as they're coming in. So just stick around till the end, and after the presentation, I will handle all of your guys' questions. So an intro to StayFi. Essentially, what we do is we help you build your guest list by collecting every guest's information as they, enter the property. Essentially, our main product is Wi-Fi marketing. So someone will come in, connect to your Wi-Fi, and you grab their information. We also have ways to collect information now without hardware, which I'll explain later. But essentially, we are responsible for helping you get all of that guest information, centralize it, whether it's coming from StayFi, from your PMS, from web forms, in one place. Then we give you the opportunity to actually market to those guests within the platform so that you don't have to have a separate tool. You can kind of have everything in one location. A lot of operators have complained to us that it's just getting very overwhelming having so many different tools to do different components um, you know, of the hosting experience. So we, have powerful marketing tools both with email and SMS to help you with that. They're specifically, tailored for vacation rentals. We also connect with the Hostco and Viator to basically allow you to offer different amenities and experiences that are commissionable to you, and you don't even have to add anything. So you have the option to add things if you have partnerships with, local vendors or anything like that. You can add them as well. But we also give you a free network of things that you can offer to guests that are really cool and interesting, and you can make money off of passively. And then, as kind of an ancillary benefit to the Wi-Fi marketing aspect, you can also have a much better idea of when your Wi-Fi is out. And if you connect to your PMS, you can actually see if there's too many guests in the unit. So it does help against partying and things like that without having to have like a noise monitor or cameras or anything more invasive. So starting off with guest data collection. So in terms of what you're going to want to do to start building your guest list and have that group of people that you can start marketing to. Uh, in terms of sources, one, as I've mentioned, the Wi-Fi, a Wi-Fi marketing platform like ours does a great job of this because it's not just the booker's information that you're getting, it's every single person who's connecting to the Wi-Fi, which we've found is at least 80% of guests. Um, I've never gone anywhere and not connected to the Wi-Fi. But yeah, so that kind of is the most foolproof way of getting every guest's information, short of literally being there and taking it all down. We also have, pre-arrival guest data collection, which is essentially through any sort of pre-arrival form. Basically, if someone is booking and you send them an email with either a confirmation or, a week before their stay, something like that, you can kind of get their information at that stage. We've kind of set it up so that we have, kind of special information behind a splash page so that you can grab that information and there's a reason for the guest to give it to you. Obviously your reservation data from your PMS and then also from your website. So sign up forms, your email list, anything like that. You want to make sure that you're taking data from everywhere and then consolidating it. Just before we get any further, to call out one of the more successful cases that we've seen of someone collecting guest data and just using Wi-Fi marketing well. Cabins for You is one of our customers who has about 500 properties. They've seen, over 250,000 logins and have collected over 164,000 unique guest emails, which is pretty incredible. And we do know that it's working from the standpoint of not just collecting the emails and letting them sit, or, that people's emails are collected and then no matter what you do with them, it's not going to work in terms of getting them back. We know that, we've seen 86,000 guests have appeared at least twice within, 30 plus days between stays. So a lot of those guests have also come back many more times than that, depending on your rental. If it's like in a location where someone might want to come back for a holiday multiple times, or it just might be, a really nice place that they enjoy and they are going to make a habit of coming back to the area, you want to take advantage of that and have it be your place that they're going to come and, rent out multiple times. So, and then this one large home itself has in its own collected almost 5,000 emails. So it does work. It doesn't also have to be, this big of a company to start seeing the effects, but we do want to see or wanted to show, kind of what that can look like at scale. So digging a little bit deeper into Wi-Fi marketing and how that works to collect guest data, because I know on the Facebook group there were some questions about how it worked. Essentially, it's going to be all through this kind of splash page right here. I know that most of you guys have probably seen this in a cafe or an airport or something like there, where it's just essentially a gate to get through to the Wi-Fi. So, we've kind of taken that and let you brand it. So you can have that kind of first branded touch point. A lot of people, when they're booking through an OTA, won't even know your brand name or remember, what's going on. So you want to make sure that you're repeatedly showing people your brand name, reminding them that, you're responsible for the trip that they're about to have, or at least the stay. So they would enter their name, email, phone number, and you can choose what you want to be collecting. You can also have a consent box as well. There's a way that you can also integrate age into it if you don't want to require anyone under 18 to be coming into it, but it is customizable. Once people log into the Wi-Fi, they'll see this page, enter their information, and go through. At that point, we actually also will take the emails that they've given and we'll screen them for you. So we partner with Zero Bounce to make sure that all of the emails that are being collected are real, so that we're not going to hurt your email open rates or your send rates. And then at that point, it'll be stored in our CRM and again, gives you an opportunity to build your brand. So here's kind of an example of the flow as well. And specifically with StayFi, most other Wi-Fi marketing companies would probably stop here at number 2. What we've kind of done to make a little bit more out of the product and service is that after people are done logging in on this page, we actually give you a free customizable, what we call a home page. So it's kind of like a guest landing page. And what you can do here is, have really interesting stuff like your guidebook information, property information. We have the automatic storefronts up for you if you want to use them to, book a private chef or an excursion or something like that for custom amenities. And then it also has information for your direct booking site. So it'll give you the opportunity to show off your other properties as well, and just increase the chances of you getting more direct bookings from that same person. And with StayFi specifically, as people go and sign into the Wi-Fi, we can also automatically trigger an email that's sent to them. And that email usually will include another link back to the homepage so they can find it whenever they want, if they want to book an activity or something like that. And you can also offer them something like a direct booking discount or really anything that you want. And you can have that essentially just set up once passively and it'll always send. So this is a bigger photo of what the homepage looks like. As you can see, here's the book again link. You can visit the website, or you can see this button here for shop amenities, for massage, chef, etc. And you can also use it to offer things like early check-in. But you can actually add anything that you want to this. So there is, a whole world of opportunity if you want to add custom buttons for, really cool things that you might offer, like unique horseback riding or a special tour of a coastline. Anything that you would want to add, you can add to this page. And we have seen a lot of success with customers. So and then using that, we kind of have this option as well to use our pre-arrival guest data collection. So this is actually something that you can use even if you're not a Wi-Fi marketing customer. If you join and you just want to do email, for example, you can actually be a StayFi email subscriber and you have access to this. So without any hardware, you can, start collecting between about 2 and 10% of guest data. Obviously, it's not as effective because you're not taking it there at the property. But essentially how it works is you can automatically send a message that you set up in StayFi. It connects through your PMS directly. So essentially, as soon as someone books, you can automatically time it for, a week, 2 weeks in advance before their stay to send this message that's, welcoming them. You can give them your guidebook information and most importantly, promote this homepage URL, which is both going to increase your ability to upsell things and also collect guest data. So the more interesting this message is, the more likely that they are, going to be willing to go through the splash page. But again, this is done very, very quickly, and they know that, they're staying with you and they're probably going to have to do this anyway. So that's where you would be grabbing the information from, coming from this email that is sent. And then once people see your homepage, if you offer a lot of cool things on it, they can also share it with the rest of the party. So it just amplifies your chances to collect more guest data. And then, of course, there's the web forms and pop-ups, which I'm sure you guys are all familiar with. You also have the ability to make those using StayFi, but that's also a great way on your website of collecting information and staying in touch. So StayFi does integrate with pretty much every major PMS. So, regardless of who you guys use on your direct booking journey, we do recommend, you know, taking every single source of data and consolidating them so you can market in one place. And that is guest data collection. So, um, two, and the slightly more challenging one, if you don't have the right tools to do it, is continuous guest awareness. So that is going to be the thing that at the end of the day takes you from having a guest that sees you as someone that belongs to an OTA to a brand guest of yours. And it takes time and a little bit of effort that can be automated. But just in walking through it, you obviously have your collection point, whether it's through something like StayFi, through your PMS, through your web form. We, strongly recommend finding something where you can build an automation so that automatically it's going to be keeping you in contact with these people and emailing them, because at some point, it just really doesn't make sense to do manually. So, whether that's a welcome email when you're coming through a web form, an automatic email through your PMS, or Wi-Fi welcome, which is an email that we send when people sign into the Wi-Fi. Ultimately, you want to grab them, reintroduce yourself, maybe make an offer, talk about what you have, maybe highlight some other properties, and then, uh, you know, at least we would recommend sending one monthly newsletter to anyone that is in your subscriber base. Not overwhelm people necessarily, but to, make sure that you are kept top of mind. It gives you the opportunity to highlight different events and things that are going on nearby you to try to hook people in. And ultimately, it's just what you're going to need to do to really establish that awareness, because that is what we're all competing for nowadays, is people's awareness. And the monthly newsletter is one of the most effective ways still of doing that. So here's an example of kind of an automation email that our customer Juniper uses. So through their web form, which you can see over here, as soon as someone submits that, they'll send an email that kind of just thanks them for getting in touch. It explains who they are, why they're unique, what makes them different, really sells themselves on, why you should stay with them now that you've already submitted your information. Um, you know, Also here shows, the experience that they have. And it depends, right? Like, depending on who you are, the size of your operation, you might want to specifically highlight your story and the love and care that you've put into a unit if you're a smaller operator. If you are a larger property manager, you're probably going to want to seem a little bit more professional and show off the level of service that you can give as a large company. It is your opportunity to really sell yourself. So this is their automation that they run through StayFi as well. So again, you can kind of see this visualization of, an automation that you can build within StayFi. It can be, as long as you want, actually, with unlimited branches, but at least it starts with someone signing into the Wi-Fi and then receiving an email. As you can see, they kind of take the opportunity to welcome you to the property, send a really nice photo, and then explain, different things that they can do, whether it's restaurant bookings, different adventures that they can go on, and amenities. And they also take the opportunity to link to the homepage and use that for upsells as well. Because even though it's an upsell and it is quite beneficial to you, at the end of the day, it's a really cool activity that you're offering them, or some sort of luxury amenity. So it's exciting to be able to book it. So. Specifically, I wanted to go into some of the ways that we, as an email marketing service, make it easier for you to do these things and quicker. Namely through our one-click campaigns, which at the moment, from what I'm aware of, we're the only company that's doing this, especially for vacation rentals. So basically, what we've done is make a couple of different automated journeys and newsletters. So things that are automatically tied to, things like the Wi-Fi or different triggers, and then single send newsletters as well. So, for example, we have our Wi-Fi welcome, which I've told you guys about. We also recently added a post-departure journey, which, after someone signs out or checks out and leaves the property, you can automatically have an email sent that will thank them for their stay, offer them a direct booking discount if they want to come back next time, and show off your other properties, which is going to, again, hit them when they've just had a really nice time. All of these are completely customizable, but as you can see over here, we call them one-click campaigns because essentially, as you're going through this, we already have pre-made text that's here in these boxes. So you basically just have to click which sections you want in the email added, whether or not. You can also add some images, but you have an image gallery and everything ready to go. And again, it's customizable, but you can basically make one of these emails in a couple minutes at most. Like, realistically, you can make it in 2 minutes if you don't want to add any customization. That's not necessarily what we recommend, because the more unique that you can make it, the better it will work. But it really, really takes a lot of the work out of building it and finding a template and putting everything together and moving things around. It just has it ready for you. So um, other things we have, the stay anniversary, which will send 10 months from when the guest stayed with you, um, to automatically, kind of inspire nostalgia and, encourage the guest to come back if they had a really nice trip. And then in terms of our ready to send newsletters, we have just a general newsletter template, so you can edit that based on whatever you'd want to promote. We have a simple promo campaign for like flash sales, special events, or anything like that. And then the most unique one that I love talking about the most is our upcoming availability campaign. And that actually gives you the ability to showcase properties that actively have open dates in the next period of time. We can sync to your PMS and know whether or not something has been booked. So you can specifically highlight properties that are available and get those booked. So it's really amazing for last minute availability and things like that. Oh, excuse me. With that upcoming availability campaign, specifically, we've built this feature which is going to be more widely available right now. We specifically have made it for that email template. But what we're actually able to do is insert the properties with the upcoming availability into your emails for you. So it's not just that it understands or scans. We actually let you go in and use this kind of widget where you can select which dates you're trying to fill availability for. You can put a minimum number of nights, and it'll go through your PMS and generate all of the options that you can have in your email. So you literally will just select, click on these boxes, and it'll automatically pull in the name, address, the available dates, and the rate for booking. So everything that you're going to need the guest to see, as well as imagery. So, you're basically going to have your email template and you are just going to go in and um, click to add everything into the email and go ahead and customize the text if you want to. If you don't want to, it's already set up for you, and go ahead and send it. So, um, we do see this, having tremendous value, and already have had people come through and let us know that they've seen a lot of rebookings from this. So this is one that we are really proud of. The only thing I do want to highlight is that this is for our StayFi Email Plus subscribers. Slightly more per month, not very much to be honest with you, but it gives you access to both the property autofill feature and then also the pre-arrival guest data collection. So technically with StayFi, if you want to collect the most data possible, you are going to want to do probably Wi-Fi and email. But if you're not in a place where you are able to get hardware or something like that, we still give you the option to be an email subscriber that can collect some guest data. Um, so, and again, this is just showing you guys kind of what that upcoming availability campaign looks like. This is where the property information would be inserted from the tool, and this is kind of what the template would look like. Perfect. Um, Additionally, we have SMS tools for for remarketing as well. So in addition to email, you can also collect phone numbers, as I kind of showed you guys before, through that splash page. So at the end of the day, you can set up a couple of different really unique things actually. Wi-Fi welcome message, which works the same way as the email, except with a text. So as soon as people sign into the Wi-Fi, you can send them a text. What's actually nice about that is you can send them a text with a message or a link to your homepage, so that when people are out and about, if they want to check it out, look at your website, look at the guidebook, figure out what they're doing, they can always go back to that text and then view your homepage for it from it. So that's very convenient for them, and it gives them, an opportunity to always figure out how to reach you or get back to you. Um, and then most uniquely, we also have our rate and review message, which essentially, if you take a look down here, lets you screen reviews. After someone has stayed, you can basically automatically set it so that a text is sent to the booker or to any of your guests, any and all of your guests, depending on how much of the information you've collected. And you can ask them how their stay was. What it's going to do is take them to this pre-built page that asks them how they're doing. And you can edit this depending on what reviews you want to be sent through or not. But most people will choose that If the review is given 5 stars, it'll say thank you, and then it'll push them to leave a review of their stay on either Google, your website, Facebook, TripAdvisor, anywhere that you want that review posted publicly and you most care about. And then if people leave less than 5 stars, what we do is we send them to an additional page where it says, thank you for your feedback. Please let us know more. And it's an open box where people can insert feedback, kind of explain why they're upset with the service or why they didn't feel it was worth rating 5 stars. And after they submit that, it'll say thank you. People kind of feel that they have left the review at that point and maybe even think that it's public, but it'll just go back to your own dashboard. So you can still take it, learn from it, and understand what went on without hurting your average review score. So, and then of course we have group messages. So you can text your subscribers anytime you want with the service. And in terms of the pricing model for it, it is just per text message. So, and then another thing that we did want to call out, sorry, is that with this guest information, you can actually also use it for social media marketing, which not many people know, to be honest. Once you have all of these emails and information collected, you can actually, with Facebook marketing or Instagram, marketing on Instagram, you can go in and add a customer list. Technically, at this point, since they've stayed with you, they are your customer. And you can add them as a custom list on it so that if you want to just run ads specifically to people that have already stayed with you to go for rebookings, you can do that. Um, you are going to just want to make sure that, depending on your size or what your goals are, that you're not marketing to others as well. So just make sure that, especially if you're a smaller operator, you're adding this customer list and you can just, remarket to however many people it is, whether it's 50, a couple hundred, or a couple thousand. And you're going to make sure that you're only spending money trying to get people back that have stayed with you and had a really nice time. So. All right. Now I will be going through our in-depth case study, and that's going to be of Branson Family Retreats. So they have been a customer for a little while now, and they have about 23 properties. I've collected over 5,000 emails at this point and have a really spectacular direct booking rate. They went from having basically none to 40 to 60 and are on track to achieve 80% direct bookings in this next upcoming year, which is really fantastic. Um, I'm just gonna walk you through kind of what they've done to get to this point. And starting, with the direct booking strategy. So they really rely on their own personal narrative for the brand image. As you can see, they have their own photo up here, talk about how they came to be, and kind of leverage that versus being more of a professional brand. They, have taken all of the ideas and recommendations from earlier in the presentation in terms of branded touch points to make sure that they stay top of mind with people that have stayed with them. So whether it's through at their PMS booking, Wi-Fi login, SMS, after their stay, and with regular newsletters, they are continuously making those touch points and making sure that the guest remembers them and wants to come back. They also do reward their guests for returning. So, in terms of maintaining loyalty, they have both a loyalty program and they also, will offer discounts to people, as they book through their post departure email after people have stayed and in their monthly newsletters because they're only adding people that have been a customer. And those are the people that they're willing to, offer a discount to come back, which has had, rate effects on their overall occupancy and direct booking rate. Also, they, go the extra mile, which obviously is going to be a little bit harder, but we recommend they do have their own custom rewards program. So if people are coming back multiple times, they can also have early check-in, late checkouts, discounts. Sometimes they'll give them some special like sweet treats, and tickets to certain local events, which is, a very interesting thing that they can do. They can also do like discounts on ticket bundles and things like that, but just going the extra mile to get people to, keep on coming back because they're having a really wonderful time and they know that they're going to be getting more than if they just booked at another Airbnb or VRBO. So, um, yeah, they also do a great job of, promoting their rewards messaging, mentioning their own personable names, and, making sure that the information that they do post on OTAs is also searchable. So, a lot of people, if they're looking on Airbnb or another OTA, if they want to stay with you, it is important to also leave some information on that profile in case someone wants to see if they can book cheaper directly with you. So they do also a good job of leaving their information uh, in their, Airbnb profile or on their listing so that people can find them directly, which obviously saves them money since they don't have to pay the OTA fee. Um, and they also open up their calendar first for people that are booking directly, which is another added benefit. As I mentioned, Branson Family Retreats does participate in Wi-Fi marketing through with StayFi. So we were the ones that kind of went in. They had access points installed in all of their properties. That's their splash page that they use to collect all of their emails and information. So they've done a really good job of that. And making sure that their homepage that comes after the splash page is special and interesting and keeping people involved. But we've, yeah, definitely done some good work with them, making sure that they can, get as much guest information as possible through the Wi-Fi. And as you can see, this is going to be their homepage over here. One thing that they've done a great job of is highlight through custom buttons their rewards program and the free ticketing program. And again, this is something that we noticed and realized was obviously so unique about their program. So that's kind of why we also had the idea, or not why we had the idea, but um, that's why we feel that it's important that we have the alternative of the Viator storefront as well as the Hostco storefront, because we're essentially allowing you to offer things that would not be available through most Airbnbs or from most small hosts. Um, Automatically without you having to put the effort into it and still have things that are commissionable. So, if you do have something really cool and custom like this, we definitely recommend adding it and promoting it to give people an idea of what they're getting when they stay with you. Branson Family Retreats also does a really great job with email marketing. As I mentioned, they do, reach out across a lot of different touch points using email as well as text. So immediately after people book, they will email them. You can see that here. And again, this is just taking an opportunity to explain who they are, why they are hosts, why they love doing it, what they can, offer to you. And, they'd share a lot of personal information so you feel that you can really relate to them and trust them, which is a wonderful idea because I think that at the end of the day, it just appeals to the human element and makes you a little bit more excited for the trip. So, as I mentioned, regular newsletters are sent, emails are sent, as soon as people sign into the Wi-Fi using StayFi. Um, and they use that to promote their ticketing program and everything like that. They also use our rate and review text messages. So again, this is kind of the basic setup of that, just turning it on and asking people to, either say welcome to the property, and this is where they promote their guidebook URL. And then after, they will text them and ask them how their stay was. They primarily will aggregate their reviews to Facebook if possible. If people rate them on 5 stars, they try to collect most of their reviews there, but that's not necessarily common amongst all hosts. but that has done a really good job of increasing their public five-star reviews and also curtailing any negative feedback. And just showing some of these stats that they shared with us that they kind of wanted to show in terms of essentially a response to all the people who are saying that direct bookings are too challenging to get, or it's too difficult to continue diving into direct bookings and trying to invest into it and see growth. um, they are. They really still are. As you can see up here, they have some really strong plans, based on what they've seen, even in the beginning of 2025, but also in their trend lines, will expect to go from 62% to 86% direct bookings, which is pretty amazing, from their Branson homes. And then they're expecting to, again, jump about 17% year over year for their Missouri house homes as well to 57%, which I believe is a smaller housing group, putting their aggregate somewhere closer to here. Um, but they have, big plans for 2025, and they're essentially just going to be tweaking the campaigns that they're running, continuing to accrue more and more guest data, because at the end of the day, you know, the best way to do this is over time, slowly, just getting more and more people in your CRM aware of you, and essentially establishing yourself with them and hopefully making good repeat guests for life. So quickly on measurement, because I know we don't have a lot of time and I want to make sure I can answer everyone's questions. You can also collect or connect Google Analytics to all of this to make sure that you understand how your email campaigns are doing. We also have analytics tools within StayFi that you can check out at a campaign level that are going to show you how many people click on your emails, open your emails, and make sure that those are doing well. But if you are, a really heavy marketer, you can also connect Google Analytics to get a little bit deeper into the metrics. And we just like to call that out because people aren't always sure. So key takeaways, you're going to want to make sure that at the end of the day, you have a strategy that is going to help you collect the information of the guests that are staying at your property. However you choose to do that, we support. But you want to make sure that you're also, taking the opportunity to get the information of non-booking guests, because you're missing out on really the meat of who's staying with you. Make sure that you have marketing automation at every point, including SMS and, on digital, in addition to the emails. At the end of the day, you don't want to be responsible for emailing every single person, or, having to do things only with newsletters. When you set things up using an automation, you literally just set it and forget it. It takes a very, very short amount of time, and you're just going to be passively increasing your direct bookings. You're also going to want to develop a compelling reason to book direct, and be consistent with it. If you're sort of offering discounts, like a 10% discount somewhere, and then aren't offering it somewhere else, or you're picking and choosing. At the end of the day, if people have stayed with you, you're going to want to kind of try to present a unified front, unless it's something like a flash sale. But you can also get more creative again in terms of like rewards programs or the ticketing program, anything like that. You just want to make sure that, even if it's not a discount, and you want to, uh, highlight a holiday or something like that, you just want to make sure that there's something compelling, and then that you're obviously measuring everything, and making sure that your campaigns are working. Perfect. All right. Well, thank you everyone for that. Um, I'm gonna go ahead and jump into questions right now, but in case I lose anyone, I do want to also call out that we have this special discount for anyone that uses StayFi or signs up for an account. It's also free to sign up for an account, but just go ahead and use this code for 50% off for 3 months of any StayFi subscription. And yeah, without further ado, I am gonna jump in and check out the Q&A section. Just wondering, will you be sharing your slides after the recording? Um, yes, yes. I'll be sharing the a full link to the recording that we just had actually right now, so you can see anything that we chatted about. And you can also reach out to me either on email from troy.ibarra@stayfi.com, or you can also reach out to me on Facebook. Tom asked, I've found that the more you ask for multiple reviews, the less your odds of getting one where you want it. Do you find that asking at this point could have the effect of reducing reviews directly on Airbnb? Um, I think that's a good question. I think that it depends on where and when you're asking for the reviews. If you are asking for a review with like a very ferocious frequency, yes. I think most important is actually going to be your timing on asking for the first review, though. Um, like I don't think it ever makes sense to ask for a review very early in the stay. You're going to want to make sure that the person has had a really wonderful time already before you're asking for that first review. Um, Realistically, the we recommend asking for the review either like on the last day or just after they've checked out and had a really wonderful time. Uh, Most of the time, people are not going to want to give that review while they're still on the trip enjoying themselves. So, at that point, I would say, yeah, don't overdo it. But really, the main, I guess, reason that we have that tool is to make sure that when you do ask for that review, if it's a negative review, it doesn't make it to the public site. Is the price per month or per number of emails collected? Um, so in terms of pricing, since it's easier to just use the calculator, to be honest, I would recommend going to stayfi.com/pricing. But essentially, how it works is for the Wi-Fi marketing service, it's not by emails collected. You essentially just or it's not by emails collected, it's by total number of contacts, essentially. So there's a hardware cost. You just have to buy the access point that's gonna collect the information. And then at that point, yeah, it's based on number of contacts for email as well. So it is an unlimited number of emails, so we don't charge for anything like that. But yeah, I would recommend going over. You just need to put the number of contacts and what service you want, and it'll tell you exactly how expensive it would be on the website. Do we need to change anything physically? Um, if you were an Email Plus customer, no, that is actually why we have it. So, you would have access to the pre-arrival guest data collection as well as like all of the email marketing tools, without having to install any hardware or anything like that. But for the Wi-Fi marketing service, you do need to install hardware. Um, at the property. So it's usually not very complicated, doesn't take very long. But if you don't have anyone there that would be able to do it, it would be a little bit more challenging. Can we import emails? Uh, yes, you can upload them as a CSV if you are an email marketing customer. So yes, in terms of aggregating it, you can do that with a CSV. Does your software connect and is able to check if property is available from bookings in places like Airbnb, Vrbo, Booking.com, Google Rentals? Um, it, yes, but only if it is through your PMS. So if your PMS has a channel manager and it manages, availability on all of those platforms, we will be able to connect to the PMS and understand, if there's any availability or anything like that, but we don't act as the PMS itself. We do have to go through a PMS. Can you show the discount code again? Yes. It is right here. It's just optimize BNB, all caps, no spaces. I'll write it down here too. There we go. Okay. I know this was a long one. Before we hop off, I did want to ask one more time if anyone had any questions that they want before heading out. Just give 1 second here. No, all good. All right. Well, thank you everyone for joining. I hope this was helpful. I'll see you guys again, obviously, in the group, but I hope that everyone has a wonderful day. And, thank you so much. Yeah, have a good one.